We are back in the year 1980, continuing our look at the Empire Strikes Back toy line by Kenner. Previously, we looked at the Imperial Snowtrooper and the deadly tripod laser cannon, also known as the E-Web cannon, used to attack the Rebels' Echo base. The Rebels fought back with ground forces, snow speeders, and medical droids, keeping the troops healthy. And today, we'll be taking a look at the surgical droid 21B and the medical assistant droid FX-7, here on Kreed'S Collection. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Kreed'S Collection. Today we are checking out the surgical droid 21B and the medical droid FX-7 from the 1980 Empire Strikes Back toy line by Kenner. If you don't recall them, they're the two medical droids that worked on Luke Skywalker after he was attacked by the Wampa. 21B is right here and FX-7 is right there. So without further ado, let's get started with 21B. The 21B medical droid was common throughout the Clone Wars and the Galactic Civil War. Humanoid in appearance, all 21B units have encyclopedic memories to ensure that they give the best medical treatment in any situation. Standard equipment includes stabilizing feet, hydraulic legs, vocabulators, and hypodermic injectors. 21Bs handled most surgical procedures, including replacing Luke's hand at the end of Empire Strikes Back. As we get closer to 21B, you can see that for a vintage Star Wars figure, there's an extreme level of detail, and every part of this character is unique. His face hose here comes out and runs around to the side. It's nice, but unfortunately it does get in the way of his arm going up and down. It's not game breaking, but it does annoy you when you're trying to pose him. His translucent midsection here is one of my favorite features, and it always fascinated me as a kid that you could see right through his body. As we come down to his legs here, you can see the rubber accordion style cuffs that normally cover hydraulics, and since they say he has hydraulic legs, that is a nice touch. As we come around to the back of the figure, you can see there's not a whole lot to look at here, but I do want to point out that the silver and blue color scheme is very aesthetically pleasing and kind of reminds me of medical scrubs. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at 21B's articulation. The legs can go up to a 90 degree, but they cannot go back at all. The arms can go up all the way around and do a full 360 if you wanted them to. Now the head does have a neck joint, but the hose doesn't really allow it to turn, and that's it. That covers all of 21B's 5 points of articulation. Sadly, I lost 21B's included medical device accessory many years ago, but here's a picture of it so you know what it looks like. Now I'll go ahead and take a look at the copyright information. On the inside of 21B's leg, you can see Lucasfilm Limited, 1980, and on the other leg, made in Hong Kong. Moving right along, it's time to take a look at FX-7. FX-7 medical assistant droids are tall cylindrical units with a wide array of modular medical appendages. Its main manipulator arm can extend up to 1 meter and can be replaced with specific tools. Its cap-like head can rotate 360 degrees and has a wide variety of sensors. FX-7's main body contains medicines and anesthetics. FX units cannot speak, but they do have vocabulator expansion ports that allow upgrades to full speech. They also have readout screens and can be directly plugged into medical computers or droids, like 21B, to assist in a multitude of procedures. Like 21B, FX-7 is an extremely unique figure in the Star Wars vintage line. While many of the human characters recycled parts, the droids tended to be their own original molds. I've always assumed this light was FX-7's face, so to me that's always his front, where the light and his universal arm are. As we come down to the body, you can see the modular appendages right here, and every one of these can actually pop out. Just apply a little pressure here, it makes the tooth come up, and boom, pops right out. So here it is with all of them out, and you can lift them all the way up, but I rarely do it because I'm afraid it'll break off right there. These figures are 40 years old this year, so I'm extra careful with them. Here's a quick look at the back side of the FX unit, which honestly isn't very different than the front. It's definitely a very symmetrical droid. Now I'll go ahead and take a look at FX-7's articulation. All 8 arms can go up. Now that's 8 points right there. The head can also swivel a full 360, so that's 9 points, and it can extend up and down, for 10 points of articulation, making FX-7 the most posable figure in the original Star Wars line. On the base of the figure, you can see the copyright date, 1980, Lucasfilm Limited, made in Hong Kong. Before we move forward, I just want to point out that FX-7 and 21B have the same type of grasping mechanism. Little touches like this really add to the consistency of the galaxy of Star Wars. But I started thinking, if there's no human medical doctors in the world of Star Wars, do they have medical dramas? And if they do, what would they be like? Doctor, doctor, give me the news. I've got a bad case of loving you. Please, nurse, understand that I am a family droid. I cannot do that to my companion and our BB units. Will Nurse FX-7 and Dr. 21B end up together? Find out next week on Medical Droids of the Bacta Chamber. And now for our He-Man size comparison. He-Man is quite a bit bigger than the two medical droids from a galaxy far, far away, but seeing as there's no doctors on Eternia, he would gladly have them come join his side. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my toy retrospective for 21B and FX-7 from the 1980 toy line, The Empire Strikes Back by Kenner. I can see where a lot of kids might not be very into the droid action figures, but man, I love them. I mean, if you can't tell, I kind of had a fascination for robot toys in the mid-80s, and it continues to this day. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up, and if you have any thoughts, please leave a comment. I love reading and responding to them. And while you're at it, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it, and it would help my channel grow. I do a retrospective on a toy from my vintage collection every Wednesday, so hope to see you next week and every week after, here on Kreed'S Collection.